for a good laugh at the end of a long day of whale work is sure to entertain you in some way or another. Paul Watson, a former member of Greenpeace in the early 70s, was asked to leave after a dispute over what he thought was a lack of direct action or aggressive techniques to stop the whaling from the Japanese in the Antarctic Ocean. After his leave, he took his strong values and created and founded the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society in 1977. This society is a non-profit marine-based organization out of Western Washington. One thing all the people in this organization have in common is environmental extremists in the utmost extreme ways. Whale Wars just finished their third season and has gained enormous popularity throughout all of America and most of the world, actually. This show portrays just how far the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society in Watson will go to save just one whale. Now let's talk about the facts and environmental statistics involved in this operation. Watson has his eyes fixed on mink and fin whales in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary. The Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary is about 50 million square kilometers around Antarctica. The IWC, or International Whaling Commission, has banned all commercial whaling for this area. However, in the 2007 through 2010 whaling seasons, they have allowed the Japanese, for research purposes, to take 900 mink whales and 50 fin whales from the area. Now, the mink whales are extremely abundant in this area and across the rest of the world. They reproduce about 20 to 40% every year, therefore making it extremely...
Let go of the podium.
making it extremely hard for them to go extinct. Fin whales, on the other hand, are endangered, but not in a severe category yet. Their reproduction process is very slow. Now, to kind of put in perspective how much this is in totality in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, Japan takes less than 1/10 of just 1% of the whales in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary from the last known population in 1998. So not that many. Now, based on the severity or lack thereof, depending on how you look at it, let's talk about what really goes out there. Like I said, the Japanese use a loophole for research to continue their whaling efforts down there. The whales, mink and fin whales, are worth millions and millions of dollars and therefore support their fleet of ships. They're worth millions of dollars for all kinds of different reasons in all cultures in Japan and around Japan. Watson and his crew chased these ships with their own ships, as you can see up here, the Bob Barker right here and Steve Irwin. This was donated by Bob Barker. It's about a $30 million ship, and this is the Addie Gale, which is also donated. Using these ships, they chased the Japanese fleet around using a variety of techniques in hopes of deterring the Japanese whalers from fishing for these whales. One of these techniques is actually a butyric acid bomb. So what they do is pull their ship up next to the Japanese whalers, throw these things onto the Japanese ships, causing extremely slippery conditions, extremely smelly, and it's actually skin corrosive and extreme eye irritant if left in too long. They also use prop fouls, and this is when they pull up in front of the Japanese ships, drop a cable in hopes of it getting binded up in the Japanese propeller and therefore disabling it. And the last and most extreme way they use to stop these whalers is actually taking their vessel and crashing it into the Japanese ships. This has happened on one of the episodes. As you can probably guess, the Japanese have started to retaliate. They started with just water cannons, and actually, in this picture right here, you can see the Addie Gale before picture and the after picture. It was trying to cut off a shipment from one of the fishing boats to the back of the Japanese ships. In hopes of cutting off this connection, the Japanese ship actually just pushed straight through it and cut it right in half, dropping it to the bottom of the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary. $20 million ship gone like that. And because it's on international waters, there's little regards to any legalistic deals. Now I guess the question is, do they really make a difference? Are they being effective? Are they saving the whales at all? Statistically speaking, they're fighting the wrong battle. Quote from the WWF, or World Wildlife Fund, estimates that 90% of non-natural whale deaths are due to collisions with ships. Much like Watson and their crew are steaming their fleet of anti-whaler ships through a highly populated reproductive area around Antarctica. Therefore, they would probably claim they are not hitting any whales, but they really have no idea what they're doing, I would argue. Followed by bycatch whales being caught in nets, and then lastly by fishing, which is what the Japanese do. Now, obviously, that's not what's advertised on the show. Recent quote by Greenpeace criticized Watson's tactics as morally wrong and counterproductive because if there's one way to harden Japanese public opinion and ensure whaling continues, it's to use these aggressive techniques. Although they're extreme, their tactics have gained a huge amount of popularity from people all across the board, people that love the environment and people who just are looking to be entertained by the reality of the show. A lot of people would argue it is just a reality show and really has nothing to do with saving the whales. In the end, it's a highly dangerous confrontation of interest on international waters where there's little regard for any kind of legalistic action. One can only hope no one will die in future episodes of Whale Wars.
Where is international waters located? Like how big is international waters?
In this case, it's only talking about, it's about 200 miles south of Australia and about 200 miles south of Africa is considered international waters in that area. Everything else is controlled by, like, whatever's off the country. So off the, about 100 miles off the coast of anywhere in America is considered our national waters that we can actually have control over, and then past that, you can't.
What's your stance on this? Like, are you for the
I'm definitely on the side of being entertained. I think they're eco-terrorists and pirates, and I don't think they're getting anything done. I would be surprised if they kill more whales around the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary with their huge ships.
So I'm guessing you were happy when Aggie Gill, the captain, was arrested?
Not really happy, because that's really sad. It's a $20 million ship. You think they would take that money and kind of invest it in a direction that could, like, maybe talk to the IWC, the International Whaling Commission, to stop it completely, so.
Critique person? As soon as we're applauding, you want, if you're the critique person.
Yeah, so I thought his projection was really good. Everyone heard his voice loud and clear. His eye contact was, really good too. And then his whole report seemed very well researched. I learned a lot of new things instead of just watching a TV show. Negatives, I can only find two. He was speaking kind of fast, but then it was still legible. And then yeah, your playing was teaching a lot. Yeah, the podium thing.